Hello, fellow survivors. Just a little video where I explain some of the content and current status of this channel that I thought I'd just do in a video rather than a post because we're covering quite a few things. So let's go for another walkabout with me through Sundered Pass and we can have a little chat. This is sort of video that you can just listen to if you want. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the channel and some frequently asked questions I get all the time, content that's coming and all that sort of stuff. That's a little bit easy just to compressed. So as of this video, right now it's summer holidays, so the kids are off nursery and that sort of thing, and I'm just spending more time with family. And then I am still making content, but as many of you know, I only really make content in the evenings, and the evening time is limited. And that's a result. There's probably be less content in the summer, but that's okay. It's also less stressful. I don't really think about it as much because I just enjoy spending time with the kids and that sort of thing. That said, there are content coming this month. The biggest one is I have finished a episode 5 walkthrough, and that was a bit of an experience because episode 5 is a bit unusual in that it's very linear. There are no side quests, although there are hidden achievements, and a lot of the main story is kind of self-explanatory. So it's a kind of a strange walkthrough to make because you didn't really need that much explanation. So it's like a 7-hour long walkthrough, which is more of a playthrough than anything. And also I calculated it, and if you add up all the sort of mandatory dialogue and cutscenes and stuff in episode 5, it adds up to like 2 hours. So 2 out of 7 hours is just cutscenes. Anyway, that's all done. The only reason it hasn't been released and hasn't been shared is because of a copyright issue. So I haven't finished making all the timestamps and stuff because this thing is massive. Once that's done, which maybe will be very soon, I will share it with Patreons, and they can watch it for until everything is completely done. So if you'd like to watch it in advance, consider becoming a Patreon, which is a huge help to this channel. And then you can also watch it in advance. Patrons also get exclusive news for the channel. This video is like an exception. But there is a copyright issue to do with the music. So as those of you who have been following this channel for a long time know, I almost always use the same song for my intro, which is this sort of basically kind of the Zaknafilm, which is the heart of gold, I think it's called. And if you go on the link to that song, you can even see comments about my channel on it, which is fun. But the last few videos I've made, it's become like copyright striked. So what happens is I have to submit a dispute saying, no, I do have a license for this song. And then I explain it, and then they do approve it. In one case, they approved it within like 2 hours. But in other cases, it can take several days. And what's annoying about that is that if I then release a video and it doesn't get resolved, then I lose all the revenue and that sort of thing. No, I don't depend on the revenue, but it is really handy for me to have, especially like with my mortgage and all that stuff. But for example, with episode 5, releasing a 7-hour video with a copyright strike that's not going to happen. So I have to wait for that to be resolved. So it's a bit annoying that lately, I don't know if it's a new YouTube algorithm thing or a scan or what it is, but whenever I upload a video that has that song, I have to every time manually contest it. Even though I do have the license in the description, I do exactly what it says I'm supposed to do. I have the license. They still claim it, and I have to manually dispute it and wait for them to resolve it. And then I can monetize, which is really annoying to do. Is that Blair? Yeah, it was. Okay. But and I thought about it, and I'm thinking maybe it would be nice to actually make my own theme tune, to hire a musician to make my own song, so I just have one that I can use for all of it. So of course I've done that before for Road to 500 Days. The music used there is made for that series. I hired an artist to play music with the Ronroco guitar. I forgot the name of it, but he made this custom music for Road to 500 Days, which came in 6 different versions. And of course it's used for every episode. In episode 96, it was also played backwards during that edited sequence. So I'm wondering maybe to do that, find someone who can make a new theme that I can just use. So that's something that might happen. We'll have to see, just to avoid the headache of that. Now, that said, let's talk about this general content in this channel. There are currently 3 main series that are ongoing. Road to 500 Days is 96 episodes and it's still going, and actually really excited to play it. I haven't played it since about 96. I'm really excited to play it because now it's a whole new phase and it's really, really fun to see what's going to happen next. We also have Out to Misery, which is only 4 episodes so far, and that's kind of like my second Misery run, and because that one requires a lot of intense effort, like I want to focus on it, I only do it now and then, but I promise it's not going to be like 7 months until next episode though, you know. And then we have Stalker, which is like my vacation series. I only play Stalker when I need a break and just play something easy. So that's what that is. But there is a 4th series coming, which is a modded Interloper run. So I recently discovered how to have 2 copies of the game, so you can have mods on one and not the other, which will be great because then it doesn't impact existing runs and that sort of thing. That was shown to me by KirkSteven, who is one of my mods, and he runs the Survivors Corners podcast, which you should check out. They had Raph on not long ago. So I did that with and I made that modded Interloper video that was released not that long ago, and that video was a big success. People really liked it. But because I was trying out the different mods, like I had a bunch of mods that added afflictions to the game, I was kind of trying it out, which made it more like a blind playthrough almost. Instead, I thought about doing a more informed run, so looking into exactly what the afflictions do, and then when I play it, I can do it in my normal narrative style where I explain what's going on with the new, like 30 new afflictions that I added to the game. So that's currently in the works. There is also a mod that I've been recommended that I probably will try. I'm not sure I'll do it in the same video or a separate video, called Pathfinder's Ascent, which redesigns Ash Canyon, Timwolf Mountain, and I think it's Blackrock. The terrain is changed, so it's almost like playing it for the first time. That would be fun to do as well. So that sort of thing is happening. And I have actually, for the modded Interloper series, I haven't recorded the first episode yet because I want to make sure I understand all the afflictions before I do. But I have commissioned an artist already to make a thumbnail for it, sort of similar to Road to 500 Days, and I have got that artwork, and it's available for patrons at the moment. I'm not sure I posted publicly, but anyway, there is art already commissioned for that, so that's ready as well. So those are the sort of series things that are happening, and so there's a load of that happening, and I just basically record that when I have time and feel like it. Then there's a bunch of other content that's coming, I don't know when, but one thing I want to do is I want to make another Interloper walkthrough. I know I have quite a few of those. Technically I only have 3 sort of proper one, because the first walkthrough I ever made was an Interloper walkthrough back in 2021, I think it was. Then I made another one, I think it was 22, maybe it was 2020 and then 22, and then I made another one in 2024, I think it was. But the last Interloper guide I have walkthrough was without safe house customization. It didn't have all the updates. Oh, whoops. But now I do. So I want to make another Interloper walkthrough now that all of the DLC and content updates are out, not counting the upcoming DLCs and all that stuff. So that's something I want to do, but they take a while. I'm also planning a second interview with Raph, and we have corresponded about it, but we haven't set a date for it yet. So we have to see what happens there. There's also, I want to remake all challenges. Sorry, I'm gonna, this wind is quite windy, that's alright. I have walkthroughs for some of the challenges in the game, but not all of them. I don't have for Nomad or Arquist, for example. So I want to remake all of those walkthroughs because they were all made before the DLC. So they were all made with the old loot system and the old wildlife system as well. You can still follow them and people use them and they are fairly accurate still, but I would nevertheless like to remake all of those. That's another thing just to. Then there's some edited videos I'll just mention. So I have, of course, there is the survey video. This is the one that people ask about the most. I get questions all the time. Where is the video about bases and regions from the region survey that I did? So if you missed it, not that long ago, I had a survey posted on my channel where I asked people to basically fill out a form talking about regions, and that's for research purposes, but also for a video. And I got over 2,000 responses, which is great, and I have lots of data. And we're going to look at this, what people think about different regions and bases, and compare it to what it was before Safe House mode was added, and see it changes and stuff. And that's really exciting, and people are waiting for like, why, when is this coming? When do you see the data and that sort of thing? And it's just that doing that video, it takes a lot of effort because I have to look through a ton of data. For Patreons, what I might do is just look at the surface levels of it, just look at the surface data, just saying, look, this is how many people, you know, like Mystery Lake or whatever. But to sit down and break it down into something that is analytical, that makes sense and can be presented in a video, it's going to take some time. And I realistically see myself doing that in maybe like September or August, and then the video will come out later. So that video about regions in the survey, it will come out, but it will come out this autumn, not now, but it is coming. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it. I also have an edited video about the Trapper's Cabin and how it's sort of fallen from being a really good base to not a great one. And I have the narration for it. I've started editing it, but it's only like maybe 20% finished. It will be done when it's done, sort of thing. There's also, I would like to make more essay videos. So I don't have many essay videos on this channel where I kind of break down a topic or narrate and have everything edited. The biggest one is a symbolism video. And while from a view perspective, that video was a mediocre success, it only has about 11,000 views, which is like okay for this channel. You know, the technical achievement of it was great. I loved making that video. It was fantastic. I loved researching it, writing it, narrating it, editing it was just so much fun. I really like making essays, but they take a lot of time to make. They take like 10+ times longer to make than any sort of gameplay episode. Like multiple evenings, can take weeks and months to make, and it doesn't pay off in terms of viewership. But because it's something I want to do, that's something that motivates me. So I want to make more stuff like that, and I actually do want to make more about episode 5. I have mentioned before that I might make a video about science and also critical analysis in episode 5. And I do actually have narration recorded for a science video about episode 5 went through it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it or not, because I feel it's kind of, I don't know, nitpicking a bit. For example, like, is Jace a PhD or postdoc? Because she says she's a PhD, and but then later she says she's a postdoc, which doesn't make sense. And she talks about restarting a PhD, which also doesn't make sense. There's a lot of stuff that Jace says that doesn't make sense. But I'm not sure if I'm going to make that video or not. But I'm really interested in making a video called Episode 5, What Went Wrong, where I go through sort of like the whole community reception of it, Hintland's reaction to it, and also a breakdown of exactly what went wrong in the game. So like, you have to look at the game, Episode 5, critically. Not because I want to criticize it, but because you have to understand, you know, what are the arguments here, you know. So for example, Raph thinks it's a bit annoying that people get caught up in the river crossing scene, because that's meant to be more of a character moment, which is fine. And to my symbolism video, you know, you have to understand that the way episode 5 is sort of meant to be perceived is, what does it mean for the characters involved, right? What does things mean? What do the actions say? But the delivery of that is a whole nother story, and it has to be understood that no matter what the intention is or what the message is behind an action or character or event in episode 5, if you present it in an illogical way, people will notice and will break immersion, and that's why it's poorly received, even if the intention or the symbolic value is high. So I kind of want to make that video, but it'd probably be very long. And I don't know if there's interest for it either. But if you think it's interesting, let me know. Other things, this channel I think really should have more shorts. I don't really have many shorts on this channel, and it's just because I don't really have time to make them, and I can't really remember what would be a good short. What sort of moment from a video is there that could make a good little funny moment or a quick short or something like that. Quick little guides is one thing, but also little highlights could work as little shorts. I often forget about it. I guess if you're listening to this and if you can think of something that was very interesting or fun or cool that you think could work as a little short from whatever video, let me know in the comments, and I might make a little list of like, okay, these things should be a short, you know. So there's that. So that's kind of like most of the long dark content going on. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff, and I have a long list of other things to make too. There's challenges to try, there's mods to try. There's so many other things to do, like, and of course Black Cross is coming too. So the long dark content is, there's no shortage of things to do in the long dark. It's just so much of it, but I can only cover so much, and so I'm never going to run out of content to make for the long dark. It's just more having the time to make all of it. So that's kind of what that is. Let's talk a little bit other things. There's also other games to play, other survival games. So because my channel now is approaching 60,000, I get invites to play other games all the time. Some of them are like spam, or they're like really, they're not. I usually ignore the invites if they're not personally written. So sometimes you get a small developer who writes an email saying, "Hi Zach, love your videos. I made this game. It's about this and this. Here's a code for it. Would love if you tried it." Then I often try to find the time and try it. But if it's some sort of spam where it says, "Dear content creator, we made this," then I usually don't bother. There's some exceptions. For example, Subnautica 2 was basically a blanket invite, but I accepted it because it was Subnautica 2. And same thing with Assassin's Creed, with Ubisoft. I accepted that too. That sort of thing. But usually, yeah. So I have a lot of different other games to try. I have a long list of games to try out that are survival or survival-esque. But I just haven't gotten around to playing it. Some of them I want to revisit, like for example Green Hell. I think I only have one video on Green Hell, and it's quite popular. And Green Hell I think is a great game, and I feel I mastered it kind of also, so that was fun. I definitely need to try Green Hell again. I need to revisit Ember's Verge. So I tried Ember's Verge when it was in very early development through an invite. It's now been released, still under development, but it's getting more popular and people want me to revisit it, including the developer himself. So I might do that. I played Grounded with my wife, which is a lot of fun, and Grounded 2 is out, but I haven't tried that. The most requested game for me to try that people ask in the comments, "Have you tried this game?" is Project Zomboid. I have not yet tried it, and I will try it at some point. It's just that when I try new games, the narrative experience is a bit different because I don't really know anything about the game, so I have to narrate as I figure things out, which usually leads to more breaks, and I'm trying to assess what's going on and sort of get a feel for the game. But when I make a video about a game I already know, I can narrate continuously, explain everything that's happening. So the experience is a little bit different. But I do want to try Project Zomboid, for example. Then there's some other games that I have already on my channel, but I don't know if I'll continue it. So Subnautica 2, I was given early access to, and I played it and I released a video, but I've tried 3 times to make content for Subnautica. I have 3 videos about it, and every time the reception is like, people like it, but it doesn't get that many views. 5,000 plus views. And so people are like not that interested in it, I guess. But the way I feel about it is, if I'm interested in playing it, I'm going to play it anyway. With Subnautica 2, I thought it was good, but at the same time I had enough other things going on, so I do plan on playing Subnautica 2, but it's not currently at a priority list, you know. Black Flag was also recently released, and I had early access to that, and I made a video about that, and as I suspected, that video didn't get a lot of views. I think as of this video it has 1,500 views, something, but that one I will continue playing because I really like Black Flag. I think it's fantastic, so I probably will continue making content for that. Either play it and narrate and just release it, and people who want to watch it can watch it, or I'll just play it, and then I'll, you know, make highlights or whatever. We'll see. There are games I play where I record, but I don't release it. PUBG and Overwatch, both of those games I record practically every match, but I almost never release content because people on the channel aren't really interested in it, and making content for it is hard because unless I just show my VOD for it, I have to edit from replays, and so it takes a lot of effort to make a video that probably isn't gonna go well anyway. A prime example is I made a PUBG video a few years back called Prime Time, and it's like a cinematic PUBG experience, and it took me 6 months to make that video. I spent a lot of time on it. I was really happy with it, and I released it, and I think it got 900 views or something like that. But I'm super happy with it, so I really like it, and I would be up for doing it again, but it's not a priority, you know. There is one other game though that you might see content from on this channel, because I kind of fancy revisiting it. I've been thinking about older games lately and kind of like nostalgia of playing them, which is Transport Tycoon. So I thought about, I noticed a lot of people actually use my videos. I think up to like 1/3 of my viewers actually use my videos to just sleep to. They just listen to them or like half watch them and then they fall asleep. And that's fine. I bet people fall asleep to this video. And I saw some other content creators making that sort of stuff where it's like, yeah, just fall asleep if you want to, and I'm going to play whatever. And I thought, you know, I haven't played Transport Tycoon in ages, and I kind of want to play it. So I thought I might make one where I just play that game and just talk through it like I do with The Long Dark and build stuff. And then people can watch it and join me in a nostalgic tycoon game, or you can fall asleep to it. It's not that noisy of a game, I would say. This will be open Transport Tycoon though, the modded version, because that's just way better. So that might be happening. I also have a Half-Life playthrough, but it's not finished, and I'll see whether I finish it or not. I kind of stopped playing it for several months, and I'm not sure if I'll get back into it. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. See, there's a lot of stuff happening. There isn't enough time for everything, because I have so much content to make for The Long Dark. Like the series themselves is a whole thing, but then there's also like all these other videos like challenges, walkthroughs, analysis, anything that's inspiring, all sorts of stuff can be made and is coming. So there's no shortage of Long Dark stuff, and then I try other things here and there. So it's just a lot of stuff happening. So yeah, this is why this video got a bit long, because there's so much information here. In the autumn, it's possible content will slow down a little bit, because I have a very strict schedule for work in autumn where I teach a lot and that sort of thing. While in the spring, it's a more flexible schedule. So it's autumn is harder to find flexible times because of things happening in the morning next day. So for example, it's quite common I have to spend the evenings in an autumn to prepare for work the next day. For example, I might maybe try and secure some grants to research survival games professionally, but that's very serious, so I might have to spend some time doing that, you know, when I would normally record. So content might slow down in autumn, maybe not, who knows, you know, you have to see how it goes. Now, all that said, there's one last thing I just thought I'm just going to announce it now. I have mentioned this before, but I've never really formally said anything. But if you are watching this and you've reached all the way here, if you're interested in this sort of essay format I've been talking about, like the symbolism of episode 5 video that I had, I also had some other essays like the Black Cat. I really like making analysis videos, and one thing I always wanted to make is a video analysis of movies and TV. And I'm a big fan of that format that's already existing on YouTube. It's no way new. And I really want to make that sort of stuff. It happens all the time that I watch a movie or a TV show or something, and I notice sometimes something very small. I was like, oh, this is really brilliant, and I would love to talk about why that's brilliant. Sometimes it's a whole thing. Like, for example, if I wanted to talk about the TV series The Wire, I could be for hours talking about that sort of thing, because it's so good and there's so much to say about it. And I always want to do that, and I actually decided about a year or so ago that I was going to do that, and I chose a movie that I'll reveal later which one that is, to break down and analyze. And I started writing a script 1 page at a time, and I started making a narration, and I currently have a narration for a video that's like about an hour and a half long that breaks down this movie, why it failed and what's wrong with it, and the scenes and the story and all that stuff. And one of the reasons I haven't done it is because you just got to find the time to edit that stuff. But also it's like a whole different chapter for the channel. It's not games, it's film, so it's very different. And also whenever I listen to the narration and the script I have so far, I always feel, yeah, it's okay, it's not great, you know, it could be better. And actually I've tried 3 different times to change it up and narrate it differently and make it more engaging. And every time I was like, yeah, it's good, but it could be even better. And I get kind of stuck in this like development hell where I never do anything about it. And the reason I decided to now maybe move forward to it soon is I was watching an interview with Curry Barker, who not long ago released the movie Obsession. You might know them from YouTube, That's a Bad Idea. The movie Obsession, by the way, is fantastic. If you have to watch it, it's so good. It's a horror though, just so you know, if you haven't watched it, but it's very, very good for many, many different reasons. It's very layered. One of the best horror movies ever made. Anyway, he had an interview where someone asked him, like, what would you recommend? I can't remember the question exactly, but something to the effect of like, what would you recommend in terms of how do you achieve success? Because like you might be worried that things aren't good enough. And he said that you can't be afraid of failure. You know, if you want to be a filmmaker, you can't not make a film because you're scared how it's going to be perceived. So he said, look, if you want to make a movie and it's going to be bad, then do that, you know. Make 10 bad movies, make a ton of bad movies, and then eventually you'll figure it out and it'll become a good movie. You know, don't be afraid of just trying it out. And I thought about it, you know, that's kind of like what I'm doing with this video thing, where I'm just kind of like thinking it's not good enough all the time. So maybe I should just do it. So I've actually now made a second channel. I'll link it in the description. If you could drop a subscribe to it, that'll be fantastic. It has no content at the moment and it only has a makeshift logo, courtesy of KirkSteven. But it's called Zaknafilm. Instead of Zaknafilm, it's Zaknafilm. And when I'm ready, I will make content there and I'll announce the video I'm talking about, that sort of stuff. And I'm going to do a video analysis of a movie and hopefully make more content about that stuff. And we'll see how it catches on. But if you're interested in that stuff and would like to hear me talk about movies, head over to my second, technically my third channel, Zaknafilm, and then follow that for updates on video parts. So that's kind of, wow. So yeah. I will see how that goes. It's not going to happen anytime soon though, because the editing of that sort of video is going to take a long time. And I am sure there's going to be a nightmare with copyrights, because when you do video essays of video games, generally speaking, there aren't copyright issues because you don't get copyright claims for playing a video game on YouTube. So if you then use the same footage to make an analysis or video essay, there's no copyright issue there either, right? But for movies it's different because of copyrighted content. So based on the people I watch who do make that sort of content, it's very often like, oh, can't release this because they are copyrighting the footage I used and have to re-edit it. So I'm sure that's going to be an absolute pain, but you know, you got to start somewhere to try it out. So that's kind of like what's happening there. So yeah, that's the other one. And that's it. I guess that's the main news. So I thought I'd just make this because there's so many things happening. There's so much upcoming content, there's so many things I want to make, so many things I would like to make, and it's just a question of time. And of course Black Frost, when that comes out, 2027 somewhere, and also the DLCs, whatever they are, whenever they come out, all that's going to also be a huge focus, of course. So there's going to be content, no shortage of that. It's just which and when, who knows, but there's lots of stuff. And thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and watching my stuff. I mean, we're almost at 60,000, which is fantastic, isn't that? That's great. So yeah, that's basically what's going on. I will say that if you would like to support the channel, beyond viewership, then becoming a Patreon is a huge support, because that helps the channel a lot, and actually is the main reason I permit myself to make things like video essays. Because, for example, with the symbolism video, the channel didn't have any content for like 3 weeks or something, because I was just making that video. But because Patreons existed, I felt like I can afford to do that. And Patreons are like $2 up, and you get exclusive news, you get previews. If you become a high tier one like the Flares, which is $12, you get like dibs on you get used to see everything, you get exclusive news and credits and all that stuff. But for this $2, you get access to most things, and it's a huge help for the channel. It's really helpful. So if you want to do that, that'd be great, but only if you want to and can afford it. Do not become a Patreon if you can't afford it. But yeah, so that's basically what's happening on this channel. I thought I'd do that. I've done this once before, and then I made it sort of like an edited thing where I had all sorts of stuff going on, and I thought let's just do a walkabout, like kind of like how I did with episode 5 pre-launch talk. Well, that worked quite well. So I'm doing the same thing here, just going on a walk on the long dark, walking from Sundered Pass back, basically. God, that I can't believe I actually broken railroad already. Wow, just walking. That's interesting. But that's what's going on with the channel now. If you did watch all of this, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about all of these ideas. Let me know if there's any video you'd like to see. Is there something you'd like to see? Sometimes my schedule changes. Someone says something like, hey, you should try this challenge, or you should make a video about that. And so, oh yeah, one video I haven't made that I really should make, and I don't know why I haven't made it, is a video about all the special wolves in the game, like Fluffy. I don't know why I haven't made one, I just haven't, but I should make one, especially because Raph in an interview recently realized that he didn't know these names. He knew Fluffy, but he didn't know Sketchy, Scruffy, Macy or Frosty, Larry. He didn't know them. So I should really make that. So yeah, that's kind of like what's going on. I could keep talking, but let's stop it somewhere. Thank you so much for listening to this. I hope this gives an overview of what's going on, what sort of content you can expect. I know I didn't say much about when these things are coming, but if you're watching this particular video upon launch, probably the next video coming out is episode 5 walkthrough, probably. So just be aware of that, and then we'll see what happens next. And then yeah, we'll just see. No matter what happens, I do love making content. It is so much fun. I'm in a very privileged position where I can just play the long dark usually, and people will watch me play and listen to me playing, and it's so much fun. I really enjoy it. It's great to have a YouTube channel to do that, and I have such an amazing audience, and yeah, it means a lot to me. So thank you for being there and for motivating me to make more content, basically. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching this, and I'll see you another time. Alright, have a great summer, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.